We've all seen our fair share of weird Japanese ads, but it may not get any weirder than this Kleenex commercial that came out of Japan in 1986. Looking like something that came out of the ring, there is nothing flashy or extraordinary about this strange commercial. However, what you would find is that this Japanese commercial has haunted its viewers for more than 30 years. So much so that there are many that believe that the commercial is cursed. It is even believed that strange events took place on the set when the commercial was being filmed, with many members of the crew being involved in many freak accidents even after the commercial was aired back in 1986. Or at least so they say. Now considered to be something of an urban legend in many parts of the world, the disturbing nature of the commercial has even caused it to be banned in its native Japan. Disturbing, unsettling, and unnerving to say the least. The rumors of this troubling video re-emerged as recently as 2006 when more people came across this haunting video on YouTube. Now, these new viewers have popped up with their own beliefs that a curse lays somewhere hidden within the nefarious commercial. There are even claims that the commercial changes once it's midnight. Considering all the rumors surrounding this seemingly sinister video, especially as there is usually some sort of truth to every urban legend, we are left to ask if this commercial truly haunts its viewers. Could this be just a case of an urban legend evolving into something much larger than it is? Or could there be some dark forces lurking within the contents of this video that is haunting all those who lay their eyes on it? Let's take a look at the true story behind the cursed Kleenex commercial. The rumors surrounding the cursed Kleenex commercial. First off, it may be best to take a look at this commercial for ourselves.
By the grass, and they look at the grass, the sky. It's going to be a fine night.
Pretty spooky, right? What looks like a simple ad in which a woman dressed in white is singing this haunting song to a demon Oni child has proved itself to be one that haunts all who happen to come across it, be it on their television set back in '80s or while you are scrolling through YouTube on your phone today. As odd as the commercial is, the real issue here, at least when you ask those who are disturbed by it, is that they believe that anyone who watches the video is likely to go insane or even worse, die. Interestingly enough, this wasn't what people were saying when the commercial was first broadcast back in the '80s. It wasn't until the commercial became known to those who frequent the Reddit platform. Once they came across the video on YouTube in the noughties, many let everyone know how haunting the video truly was. Perhaps they were influenced by the recent release of Gore Verbinski's The Ring, because the similarities are somewhat uncanny, as they both were centered on videotapes that would curse you to death if you watched them. Although The Ring can no longer inflict angry spirits upon the viewers, it would take quite some time to dismiss the rumor that this Japanese Kleenex ad could do the same to its viewers. Perhaps this is because, as far as we know, there have been no verified claims that this video has caused the death of any of its viewers. As such, we are left to wonder how this rumor even came to be. Maybe it has to do with the culture of the people of Japan, as it may be well known that there is a high level of anxiety and depression plaguing the people there. Some say it may be due to the combination of technology that causes a high level of isolation and the pressure of high performance that has permeated its way into the schools and the workplace in Japan. As a result, we have found that many have succumbed to societal pressures up to the point where they figured it was better for them to take their own lives. This part isn't a myth. As recently as 2017, we can remember when Logan Paul was criticized for his actions when he interacted with the remains of such a person in the Aokigahara forest, also known as Japan's suicide forest. That said, we must remind you guys that we have no records of anyone being driven to the point of insanity or the point of taking their own lives after they watch this haunting Kleenex commercial. The cursed set. With that in mind, we turn our attention to the supposed cursed set of the cursed Kleenex commercial. To be honest, this is not such a strange concept. After all, we have heard of many cursed sets over the years. For example, we have the set of The Exorcism, where many involved in the shooting of the movie claim that the film was jinxed. Who could blame them? After surviving multiple fire incidents, with several members of the set suffering injuries relating to the fire, as well as that not related to said fire, you can understand how people were convinced that there was something going on with the shooting of The Exorcism. Add the fact that both actors, Jack Magoran and Vasiliki Maliros, lost their lives, and there is some credence to the myths of a cursed set. Then there was The Omen, where members of the set claimed that they experienced plane crashes, lightning strikes as they tried to shoot the movie. Add the fact that one of the special effects artist's girlfriend literally lost her head in a car accident that was reminiscent of one of the scenes in the movie, and you cannot dismiss the concept that the set of the Omen movie also experienced some strange events. This brings us back to the set of our cursed Kleenex commercial. As we touched on earlier on, this set also experienced its own fair share of strange and unusual events. The first of these odd events relates to the tragedy of the supposed death of one of the cameramen that shot the ad. In a scene that reminded us of one of the deaths in the Final Destination franchise, it was reported that soon after filming was wrapped up on the ad, this cameraman lost his life in a sauna due to the failure of the equipment found there. Funny enough though, we have never been able to confirm the veracity of this claim. That didn't stop the rumors from spreading. In fact, these rumors began to involve other members of the set of the ad. These rumors covered everyone from the producer and the directors to even their assistants. Many of them were believed to suffer from one tragedy or the other following the filming of the commercial. One of the rumors that persisted the most was the one which involved the actress in the ad. It is believed that she actually conceived a child soon after the ad was filmed. Although this should have been the cause of a lot of celebrations, the story would turn dark after it was rumored that the lady had lost her life after giving birth to a demon baby of her own. Aside from that, there are other claims that Matsuzaka was institutionalized following the shooting of the commercial. Unbelievable, right? We'll tell that to the Redditors who spread this rumor all through the grapevine because according to records, our actress known as Keiko Matsuzaka is alive and well. In fact, not only is she alive and well, she has also appeared in several other commercials as well. She has even earned her appearances in several movies and TV shows along the way. With that in mind, we are left to wonder about how these rumors popped up in the first place. Again, we may find out answers in the culture of Japan, especially when we flip through the pages of their mythology. According to some Japanese legends, there were women who had gone down in history because they gave birth to demonic babies that are referred to as sankai. Apparently, these demonic babies were known to crawl under their mothers before eventually slaying them. Talk about naughty kids, but still, this doesn't give us a reasonable explanation as to how this ad was associated with curses. Speaking of demonic kids, there are those who claim that the child who played the Oni tragically lost his life after filming Wrapped Up. This is interesting because we were never able to confirm the identity of the poor kid. As such, we cannot come to the conclusion that this kid lost his life due to his part in this harrowing Kleenex commercial. Considering this, we are compelled to believe that this ad is only a case of what is known as urban legend syndrome. Indeed, there are many that believe that this was only able to happen because the clip resurfaced during the internet era, and many people then went on to jump on the bandwagon when they came across it on sites such as YouTube and Reddit. As insightful as this may seem, it still doesn't explain why many people find that they are creeped out by this video. What could be the cause of the creepy feeling these people get when they watch this Kleenex ad? Cultural subversion. We've hinted at this several times already, but one of the reasons this ad spooked the Japanese out so much is due to its use of Japanese ghost stories, religious beliefs, and cultural ideas. To the Japanese viewers back then, it just looked as though the people who put the ad together twisted several traditional and familiar symbols to create this effect that makes their skin crawl. Let's start with Matsuzaka, our infamous woman in white. Turns out the white eerie appearance was not a random selection. The Japanese audience that saw the actress in the ad would have immediately associated her with ghosts, as they are usually pale and are known to wear similarly simple, flowing white robes. To take things to a different level, you'd find that in Japanese Shinto and Buddhist culture, white is a color of significance. It is used to represent notions such as purity, which is why you'd find that it is worn by priests and brides. Seems to be a worldwide phenomenon. Considering that, Japanese culture may also be unique because to them, white may also be used to represent death. Indeed, you'd find that when people are prepared for their funeral, they are often dressed in white kimonos. You will also find that this is the color for mourning those who have departed the earthly plane. As such, you may associate the woman in the ad as anything from a priest to a bride to a ghost. Considering the last one is the most likely one, you would actually come to this conclusion because when you look into Japanese culture, you'd find that these ghosts are likely to be the spirit of someone who had died tragically, or someone who did not get a burial that was befitting of the dead. As such, you may say that the woman in the ad may be haunting the audience because she is an unsettled spirit with strong feelings such as sadness or revenge. She may be haunting the living because she is haunting the living so that they could finish their unfinished business. Even the caring way in which she gives that tissue is somewhat ominous. Then there is the Oni demon child. We shall touch on this again later on, but for now we can tell you that more often than not, these Oni are considered to be a demon, an ogre, or a troll. Traditionally, many would be wary of this fearsome creature because apart from being known for their reddish skin, they are also known for their chaotic nature. That said, even though they are sometimes blue, you cannot really mistake them for anything else because they also come with horns, wild hair, and a massive iron club. Now, we may not be able to see an iron club with the red hinder kid in the ad, but there is no denying that this is an Oni. To make them even more terrifying to those who watch the ad and are familiar with Japanese folklore, they would know that this creature is known to be the brutal wardens of the Japanese notion of hell. As such, not only are they known to be associated with diseases, disaster, and war, they are also known to be brutal when it comes to punishing sinners. Looking at such features, you can see how this put the Japanese audience in a state of unease when they saw the little demon on the screen. Once more, to understand what made this ad so disturbing, we have to turn our attention to the color palette of the ad. When we look into the context of Japanese culture and history, we may realize that the combination of red and white that we see on our screens was no accident. After all, to Japanese culture, the combination of these colors are a big deal. After all, just take a look at their national flag. It is made up of a combination of these colors. This is because it is used to represent positive sentiments such as joy, purity, and good fortune. That is why you would find red and white curtains in weddings, festivals, and even their foods. While looking at the ad, we aren't sure that we can find anything that is pure or joyful about it. In fact, the ad seems to present itself as some sort of subversion of these sentiments. Not only is the white now representing death instead of purity, the red is pretty much chaotic and demonic in the ad. Imagine being a person of Japanese heritage and how you'd react if you saw such a scene play out on your TV screen. It must be like something out of a horror movie for them, especially as this was mostly an interaction between what could very well be a dead mother and her demon spawn. No wonder it was such an unsettling watch. The truly disturbing nature of the cursed Kleenex ad. Watching the ad, the first thing that you are likely to notice is how simple and unclear the clip is. For those who may have come across some of the more entertaining Japanese ads then and now, they would tell you that this is in stark contrast to the ad that haunts the dreams of many. This is because the almost hazy nature of the clip almost makes it look like some sort of mediocre painting, if we are allowed to describe it as such. To be honest, as we watch this ad once more, one thing we can say is that the most obvious thing that makes us feel that sense of unease when we watch the commercial is the demon baby that the woman in white is singing to. Referred to as an Oni, many who are familiar with Japanese folklore would tell you that this is one frightening creature as it is associated with chaos, misfortune, and punishment, often serving as enforcers of hell. Looking at this demon child with its horns and its red skin, you can understand how many women would be wary of being within proximity of this demon, not to even talk about giving birth to them. As you can imagine, many may have seen the clip before subconsciously letting their fears get the better of them. After all, as bad as having a demon child is, some may even associate this with having a normal kid. After all, not only does it affect the bodies of the women that carry these children for 9 months, it also changes the life of the woman and the father of the child forever. Maybe this is the cause of the unnerving feeling that they see when these ads pop up on their screens. As if that is not bad enough, the viewers also had to worry about the song that could be heard all through the ad. Although the tone is even more eerie than that of a siren, the words of the song are also enough to disturb the senses of the listener. For those that are familiar with the works of Edward Barton, the Manchester-born poet, and his girlfriend Jane Lancaster, they may tell you how they already felt that sense of unease when they listened to their song titled "It's a Fine Day." However, it's even more haunting when paired with the disturbing video on our screens. That said, when we think about it, some would say that the original "It's a Fine Day" video is just as creepy as our cursed Kleenex commercial, as it features a woman mourning the absence of her husband during war times. Pretty grim stuff. With that in mind, maybe the song in the ad is creepier because the audio file in the ad is much fatter than that in the original song. When we think about it, maybe the people of Japan freaked out when they saw this ad because a good number of them may not be able to speak English. To make matters worse, their lack of familiarity with the English language somehow made them believe that the song was actually an ancient German curse. In fact, they believed that the lyrics could be translated to say, "Die, die. Everyone is cursed and will be killed." What an ominous message. No wonder everyone was freaking out when they heard the weird song. To make things even worse, there were also rumors which claimed that the ad was filled with subliminal messages. It is believed that those who heard this song would be likely to succumb to their darker instincts. Just look at when the woman leaned over so that she can kiss the demon child as she releases a white tissue that would float away. To some, that could just be an innocent kiss, but to others, this represented a force of divinity. In essence, this seemed to represent the loss of the woman's innocence, thereby making way for her to embrace the dark side that emanates from the demon child she adores. To take things even further, it showed how she readily entered into a union with the forces of darkness, thereby making the clip even creepier than it should have been. It is believed that such a notion came from several sources. However, many point to the emerging pop culture that was developing in Japan in the 80s. Thanks to this, we got to witness the popular anime known as Urusei Yatsuri. For those that may not be familiar with the anime, this was a show that focused on Ataru Moroboshi, a 17-year-old Japanese student, and the alien Lum, who believes she is Ataru's wife after he accidentally proposes to her. Weird stuff, huh? It gets even weirder when we learned that the show featured a flying horned baby that was known as Ten. Does that remind you of a certain honed red-skinned baby? Maybe it would when you learn that Ten used to get the attention of women by using his unmatched cuteness, much like our demon child Oni did in the ad. Maybe the guys at Kleenex were hoping to tap into this energy because the similarities are somewhat uncanny. That said, we must note that there are still a lot of differences, especially when it comes to the creepy factor, because Ten is nowhere near as creepy as the demon child in the cursed Kleenex ad. With that in mind, we may be forced to accept that the clip may not be so cursed after all. Sure, it may be creepy, but it may truly just be a victim of urban legend syndrome. In the end, the ad had to be pulled because it was just too much for the people who came across the ad back in the 80s. Sure, the same goes for those who came across it today, but maybe they are just playing into the sensationalism that comes with this so-called movie. If anything, we should try to appreciate this artistic combination of different elements of Japanese culture,